Good evening, guys. It's July 5th, 2018. Hope everyone had a happy 4th of July. First, let me just say I apologize for the mess in my garage. Long weekend, family over, party. Haven't had a chance to clean up in here. But, anyways, as you can see, I've got two Milwaukee combo kit power tools here. Not really going to review it, I guess, too much, or at least test it because it's getting dark out and impact guns, as you know, are loud. And I don't think my neighbors would mind, but I already did some testing. I'll just kind of show you what I did, and maybe I'll make another video later actually showing you some of the work that I did. I guess we can call it not really work, but just driving some lag bolts. Earlier, I drove some 3-inch long by 1/2-inch diameter lag bolts into a 2x4 on the stood up on its side length end, which I'll show you. But anyways, this top one here, the top one is the Gen 2 Milwaukee M18 fuel. It has the hammer drill driver and the impact driver, charger, case, all that. And the one on the bottom here is the new Gen 3 M18 fuel. I was able to find it at one Home Depot. They had one in stock. I asked them if it came with a free battery because Milwaukee always gives away free stuff. And they said no, but if a promotion begins, to bring them the receipt, return it, and then rebuy it so that you can get the promotional tool free battery, whatever they offer with it. My first impression, this is before I even took it out of the cardboard liner and all that. First impression, this is really why I'm kind of making this video, and some of you guys are going to laugh at me, and I totally get it, but I notice these things, and I'm definitely not going to condemn the tool for it because we're not using the tool for this reason. But first impressions are everything. And at this price point, the new Gen 3 was $379.99. That is an expensive tool by anybody's standards. This one, I believe I got for $349.99, and it came with two 3 amp hour batteries in addition to the two 5 amp hour batteries that are in the box when you buy it. So first impression, the first thing that I noticed is the quality of the box. This box here, I don't know if it was produced using a different method, injection molding, blown molding, whatever, but the plastic feels very different, at least in my opinion, maybe because this is like brand new. They launched these to consumers in July. The guy in Home Depot had one, and he said he's not even supposed to sell it yet. It was not on the shelf. It was in the rafters in the back, and they happened to have it, and they set it aside for me, and I went and bought it. But the plastic on it feels... It doesn't feel... It's durable. It feels strong, but it feels different. I really don't know how to describe it here. This one just feels tougher. And then also, as you can see on the Gen 2, we have metal clasps here to latch the box. Whereas here, we have plastic, which I was very, very, very surprised to see. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, okay, just go ahead, pull this off, and swap it out, because I'm actually going to sell the Gen 2. It's real lightly used, and I just don't need two of them. I'm not in the trades, and I really, to be honest, seldom use these things, but I'm really into tools. I have more tools than I'll ever need. I've spent more money on tools than I'll ever need to spend, and I'm pretty sure that's why a lot of these tools are made, because of the cool factor. They know people are going to buy them just because if you're a guy like me you think tools are cool. Anyways, I'm not going to swap this out because this one here, I cannot pull it off. It should come off real easy, but I don't want to break the little tabs up underneath here, and it will not come off. So that was my main issue. At that price point, I really would not expect to see a drop in quality in materials, even on the case. At that price point, this is your flagship model. First impressions are everything, at least in my opinion. I would at least have this case made in the same manner as this one. And maybe it is. Maybe this plastic's just a little thinner. I really don't know. But also, you know, the method with which these are attached, I can pull this off very easily. And again, it's plastic. If you're in the trades and you're actually going to use this box to carry your drills around, it's going to get beat up. We all know that. But you want materials that are going to take that beating for as long as they can, especially if you're paying $400 after tax for a set of tools. So anyways, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and open up the boxes here and just kind of give you guys a comparison of the tools. And I apologize for the close, kind of crappy shots here, guys. I'm doing this on my phone. I don't have a stand. I don't have a gimbal or whatever. You guys that are really into this, or they call those things a tripod, whatever. So this is the Gen 2. I'm going to go ahead and pull the hammer drill driver out, and I'm going to set it over here. And I'm going to pull the impact driver out and set it over here. And I'm just going to close up the box. Chargers are the same. You can charge M12 tools or M18 tools with the charger that comes with it. Same with the Gen 3. Go ahead and open that up. And I know what you guys are probably thinking too. If you're selling the Gen 2, why don't you just put the Gen 3 tools in the Gen 2 case? And the simple answer for that is the Gen 2 tools do not fit in the Gen 3 case. I already tried it. The impact would probably fit, but the hammer drill does not. And that is because this is the Gen 3. If we look at it here, get you guys kind of an overhead shot here. I'm going to line these up as best as I can on camera, but it is quite a bit shorter. I know it says in the specs how long these are. I forget. I did read it, but I have forgotten. I'll go ahead and tilt them down here so you guys can get a little better idea of the difference on these. So obviously the chuck is open a little bit, or closed I should say, a little bit on this one. So we'll take that down, and you can see that it's noticeably shorter. I would say it's close to 1.25 inches shorter. Awesome tool. It's advertised as having more torque. They've shortened the motors up in the Gen 3, which allows for the shorter tool. And then if you look at the Gen 2 impact driver, and I'll grab the Gen 3 one here and set that one down. Again, a lot shorter. I'm absolutely impressed with how short the head on this thing is. It's unbelievably small. In fact, I just purchased the M12, Gen 2 M12 combo kit, and I actually returned it about a week after I bought it because I realized that this was coming out. And yeah, the Gen 2 M12 tools, they are smaller overall, but this one actually has a shorter head on it than the M12 impact, brushless impact driver. And in my opinion, that's just really impressive. I tend to focus more on the impact driver because I use the impact a lot more than I use the hammer drill. I am an installer for AT&T. I used to work for DirecTV. AT&T bought us out, so I installed DirecTV satellite in-house for AT&T, and the impact is what I use a lot, attaching to concrete, stucco, rooftops, etc. Whereas the hammer drill, I really only use to bore 1/2 inch holes through wood or stucco, to run cabling, RG6 coax. Anyways, so I haven't even run the hammer drill yet, again, because I'm really focusing more on the impact. I did run the impact, and I did run it head to head with the Gen 2 versus the Gen 3. And then just for kicks, my company provides all of our tools. So I have a Makita lithium ion impact driver. However, it's not brushless. I did run it against this tool, and there's absolutely no comparison whatsoever. In fact, if any of you are interested in the M12 tools, the M12 impact driver actually performed better than the 18 volt Makita lithium ion impact driver. That's a really old tool, old by today's standards, the Makita, but it was just really impressive to me to see how much power that little tool really had. So anyways, when I compared the two of these, again, I took some 3-inch long by 1/2 inch diameter lag bolts, and I walk out here for a minute, guys. Sorry, it's going to get a little dark until the camera focuses. I'll actually bring this 2x4 back in the garage here so you guys can see it a little better. Kids' bikes everywhere. All this. It's supposed to be my man cave, but when you have kids and a wife, they tend to take over everything. So what I did here is I pushed these, or drove these lag bolts into the 2x4, and there was absolutely no comparison at all as far as speed goes between the Gen 2 and the Gen 3. The Gen 3 outperformed it hands down, no question about it. It continued to drive that lag bolt into the 2x4 until the socket could no longer reach the head of the lag bolt. So just really, really impressive. I'm blown away how much power these new cordless tools have. It's mind-boggling to me because, my first set of drills that I remember very fondly were corded. I guess by today's standards, they were not powerful at all. But they did the job, That's what we had to work with, and I'm not very old, but that's what I had to work with. And by those standards at those times, it was impressive as far as what they were capable of doing. And while cordless tools were available, they were not really, to be honest, worth purchasing because they didn't have a lot of power. They especially didn't have a lot of run time. You'd screw a few screws down, 3-inch, 4-inch screws, whatever, and you were grabbing another battery. It was just, the technology just wasn't there. It really wasn't anybody's fault. The technology just wasn't there. And if it was there, it wasn't available for a price point that made sense for the manufacturer once they actually sold the tool. So anyways, again, guys, as of right now, I guess some of some of you will ask me, would I buy the Gen 3 if you already have the Gen 2 at that price point? And my answer really is, I'm a tool fanatic. I'm also a leather boot fanatic. I wear leather boots all the time, constantly. Tools and boots, those are my thing. If you're like me, I don't necessarily have to have the newest, coolest thing, but I like having the newest, coolest thing if it performs. And this thing absolutely performs, hands down. It is going to do any job you throw at it. There is nothing this thing won't do. I know they don't recommend breaking lug nuts with these things, but it will do it. Both tools will do it very easily. In a pinch or an emergency, roadside emergency, you got to change out a flat tire. I would really recommend almost having one of these, or just taking the one you have in your garage with you if you're maybe going on a long trip or something like that, because things like that, it's just going to make it a whole lot easier. So if I had the Gen 2, would I, and the Gen 2 was working good shape, all that, would I go out and buy the Gen 3 right away? I probably not. I'm selling my Gen 2 to recoup some of the cost from the Gen 3 that I purchased, but there's definitely a difference there. But if you're just not really just overwhelmed by new, cool, improved tools, then no, there's no reason to go out, run out and pre-order the Gen 3 or buy it if you can find it in a store. There'll be tons of them in the stores in another month or two, I'm sure, and you can go check them out for yourself. Maybe you'll get lucky and the Milwaukee rep will be in the Home Depot and he'll give you some cool stuff or show you how they work or whatever. But the length of these things, they're so small, they're so short, and they have more power than the Gen 2 ones. It's just, it's amazing to me. So I really wanted to have it. I know I can make a little bit of money on my Gen 2s because I take really good care of them and I use them really lightly. So it made sense for me, but it's not going to make sense for everybody. And then again, I like the DeWalt tools because they're not 100% USA, but they are made in USA with global materials. So that's one step better than some of the other manufacturers. But for the warranty you get with the Milwaukees and the performance you get and the size of the tools you get and the customer service you get from them, at least in my experience, you just can't beat the Milwaukee tools. They are so impressive to me. I am going to go ahead and contact Milwaukee. I'm not looking for anything. I don't want anything. I've heard of guys saying that they'll offer you, of something, a battery or whatever. And I'm not looking for that. I don't care about that. I just want them to know my opinion about this box. Again, I think at this price point, why downgrade the materials on the new flagship model versus the materials on the now older flagship model? Just a big thumbs down for me as far as I'm concerned to Milwaukee. As far as the tools go, super impressed. To tell you the truth, I probably not even sure I would use this box if I was in a trade where I use these tools a lot. I'd probably have them in my bag, my rollaway bag or something like that. And that's where they would be. Because I can fit a lot of stuff in the rollaway, whereas in this huge box, I can only fit these two tools. So again, for some of you, you might understand what I'm saying. For others, you might be like, dude, go throw your tools in a bag and quit whining. But I wanted to express that, share it with you guys, just so you know, in case some of you are just like me, just so you know what you're getting. Again, maybe they're going to change this. Maybe this, because literally this is brand new. They came out in July. This is July 5th. And I called probably 6 Home Depots and none of them had them. They were all, and online it said they could be delivered, but they were back ordered. They were going to be delivered later in the month. And I just happened to get lucky and the store right down the street from me had one available. So anyways, guys, if you want to see me use these tools, or if there's anything you specifically want me to use them on, or maybe you want to see them at work installing satellite equipment, maybe some of you do the same thing, let me know. Comment if you have any questions. Go ahead and ask them in the comment section, and I will do my best to get back to you guys. I really appreciate your guys' likes, and thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all had a great 4th of July, and if you live in Southern California like me, specifically Orange County, it's supposed to be well over the hundreds the next couple days, so stay hydrated and enjoy the summer, guys. All right, thanks. Bye.